What makes you different as a builder?
Well, I talk to a lot of builders and this comes up a lot.
And if you are a builder listening to this, chances are that you are asking that question to yourself. And there's a lot of reasons why this is important. I mean, it's a matter of like business, like going well or not.
Big time. It makes a difference between winning that next project or not.
We're sitting on the ferry from Manly to Circular Quay. We've got to get to Circular Quay, catch a train, go to the airport. There's a client of ours on this journey with us. We're sitting on the ferry. It's like, what time was it? Like 6, 7 p.m.
6, 7
it was
p.m.,
dark,
yeah.
cold. There was swell. The boat's going up and down
Yeah,
like crazy.
yeah.
We were hungry after this event, right? This workshop in Sydney, in Manly. So we grabbed some Guzman on the way.
Yeah.
And I remember like when the boat started going like crazy, our client, he's like, no, I'm not going to eat anymore. And at
That's
that
not going
moment, we
down.
started talking about this topic. We're sitting in this builder workshop that we hosted with Kurt. And this particular client was sitting in the room and he was looking around at like the 60 odd builders in that room. And he asked himself the question, how do they all differentiate themselves? You know? And he said to himself, like, this is what he started thinking in his own mind. We can, as builders, if you have a builder's license, chances are that you build quality, right? We can all get the same supplies. We all have access to the same trades. Whether we can get them or not, that's a different story. But we can basically do the same thing. So how do I differentiate myself as a builder? And how do these 60 odd builders differentiate themselves as builders? So that's why we're bringing this up today. I mean, yeah. And then the workshop was just awesome.
Workshop was awesome. So yeah, in Sydney, in Manly, there had about 50, 60 plus builders in the room. Fantastic. What I loved most about it was seeing the discussions happen. And we would have a discussion, have a topic, raise it, get some hands raised. What are you guys doing? What's working? What's not working? And then they'd all get up and move and network. And so great new relationships being formed. Feedback was phenomenal. It might even be one of our best ones yet. And yeah, heading back on the ferry, this client of ours, deep thinker, and he was talking about what actually differentiates them all.
Yeah, and this got us thinking.
Yeah.
And I mean, I actually had a webinar yesterday with Exact Accounting. It's a Brisbane-based accounting firm that specializes helping like builders. I will link the recording below this video. And this topic came up. What makes you different as a builder, especially going into the times we're going in now?
Yeah, I think that's a good point to raise because for a lot of builders over the last, say, 2 years, work's been in abundance.
Yeah.
And so they haven't had to fight hard for it. It's just almost they can pick and choose. So it's kind of been a real idealistic in terms of getting work on. Not necessarily ideal work. I think a lot of guys, having come from maybe a scarce environment prior, they just took work on, and a lot of people have learned from that. But now we're going into a time where, because of a lot of the challenges, price rises, interest rates, supplies, delays, all that kind of stuff, it's really pushing clients.
Yeah.
Because now there's a bit of this fear in them. I need to really, really be scrupulous with this decision, and so they're really looking at the fine details.
Yeah. And I mean, Daniel, the one of the presenters on the webinar yesterday from Exact Accounting, he pulled up a lot of figures and everything. And again, I would definitely suggest everyone listening and watching this podcast to go watch that video. He pulled up some figures past and also some predictions to the future. Don't quote me on this. I might have forgotten this number completely. So go watch that video. But I think he said that the sales journey will take, or is taking, I can't remember, 2.5 times longer than before.
I can believe that.
Which means people are taking their time.
Yeah.
They're scared like taking action, like from a consumer point of view. And yeah, the demand is definitely less. Yes, there's been an abundance the last few years. There's been a lot of demand, too much demand for the supply being builders, where there's a lot of work. Moving forward, you're going to have to become even better at with this topic on how to differentiate yourself as a builder.
Definitely. I think the big challenge with a lot of builders is when they try and differentiate themselves, they're going, well, here's a detailed quote. Yeah, and that's very common for a lot of builders, that they think that is really going to differentiate them. And yes, if you're comparing yourself to Joe Bloggs, sloppy Joe Bloggs, who gives you a one-pager, yeah, you're always going to be better than him. But there's a lot of guys also doing detailed quotes. And that really should be just the standard.
Yeah.
The challenge with that is now with clients being really scrupulous. They're looking through that, going, all right, what makes this guy better than that guy? But if the guy next door is also giving them a detailed quote, you're forcing them into a corner to differentiate you based on, well, what have you allowed for and what products are in there? And it's like, well, they dictate the products. So aren't you putting the same? And this is what the builder on the ferry was saying, is like, we all order the products from the same place, really. And a lot of us in certain geographical areas might even use the same trades. It's like, what actually differentiates you?
So let's go over the 3 topics. They flow from each other, so don't skip. They're all super important, especially number 3, so you just want to stick around. So I'll go into the first one. So the first topic here is, the first thing you need to do is you need to get clear on who, in capital letters, you want to build for.
Definitely.
Okay? Who is your ideal client? Because the thing is, you can't be different. You can't separate yourself as a builder to everyone. Okay.
And this is the one that, again, a common question I'll ask a lot of builders when I'm trying to understand, because when I have a meeting with them initially to qualify, to see if we can help them and see if what we do will impact them positively, it's a big thing is your current situation and understanding then where they want to go. And so, I mean, we know our ideal clients pretty well. We've spent time articulating that. But with them, when I say, well, who is that ideal client for you? Unfortunately, a lot of them define it in terms that are not clear, and not in a way that allows you then to take that clarity and communicate it. Things like, well, they got to have money, or I'm trying to think of some. The common ones would be, they need to have money, they need to have built before, they need to be friendly, they need to be clear on what they want.
Yeah, it's almost like when you go look for a house, like if you and your wife want to go look for a house, you've got this dream list, right? It's got to be north facing, it's got to have a pool, it's got to have a sauna, it's got to have a double garage, it's got to be 4 bedrooms, it's got to have sliding doors, it's got to have shears, it's got to have, all these different things. It's got to be in this location, it's got to be near the beach, but it's got to have a block big enough where I can have horses on it. Yeah, keep dreaming, mate. Something's got to give there. Yeah. So it's the same kind of thing. But yeah, again, like getting clear on who you build for. What type of projects you build. What is your core focus? So that's topic number 1. Get clear on that. And then number 2 is get clear on, in capital letters, why you build for them. Okay. So now we're clear on who we build for, and then why we're building for them. And the way you can get clear on why you're building for them is to know your target market better than anyone else. You know them better than they know themselves.
It probably goes, all these interlink so well, but that goes back to how deep are you going when you are getting clear on who? What are their problems?
What do they desire? What does the husband desire? What does the wife desire? What do the kids desire? What are their pain points? What are the pain points? Massive.
Yeah, that's definitely something we see with some of our top builders. When they understand, we work with them and they get so clear on who their ideal client is, and then understanding the different influences like the husband and the wife and the kids. And then you hear them talk about let's call it the sales journey that they take that prospective client on, because they understand not only the family as a whole, but the individuals and their needs and their desires and their fears and their goals. It's amazing talking to them when they can articulate such specificities that then allows them to take each individual on their own bit of journey, which just makes the outcome that much better, the client's better, everything.
And the reason why you want to get clear on why you build for them is for your marketing, for your sales, for your operations. Okay, because now you'll be setting up your business in a way operationally that will be specific to that target market and why they are building, right? If a pain point for them, for example, is that they might have built before, or they get super anxious about things, they'll need extra communication, for example. So you want to set up your operations with like extra communication, go over the top with your communication. There is no bad client. It's just you either make them a bad client or you make them a good client.
That gives me a whole other topic for another podcast, is how you have the ability to influence that, let's say, average client and make them a great client.
So what makes you different as a builder? Number 1, who do you build for? Number 2, why? Okay, and again, the why has got to be across the business, not just marketing. But now the next topic, we'll be focusing on marketing and sales. And the next one is get clear on what you tell them and what you show them. Okay, so now when it comes to marketing, this is extremely important. If you didn't get clear on your who and you're just trying to get everyone, what are you going to show those people?
You just show
You're going
them
to show
anything.
them a commercial, a building. You're going to show them a little deck you built, a fence. What are you even going to talk about? It's going to be surface level.
Yeah.
It's not going to make sense. Nothing. So
Yeah.
in this topic here is massive.
I think that what is very, very common when you're talking to a new builder and you look through what they are putting out there in marketing, and when they're not clear on their who and their why, you look at their what and it's very sporadic. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no consistency.
no, and it's they post. You know, this might be a bad example, but they post a picture of a tap. You know, it's like, you know, lovely putting great taps in, or these taps arrived today. You know, that's cool, but I feel like that's all that he's doing is populating your social.
Yeah, and I think the reason why they do that is because they just have a look at what other builders are doing.
Yeah.
Stop looking at what other builders are doing. Just go through these steps, what I just told you there. Like number 1, who, number 2, why, and number 3, what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, again, once you're clear on those things, you can put a photo of a tap, but think about who is it for? Why are you putting it up there? Why is it going to be important to them? So that why can be applied in so many ways. Why do you want to communicate this?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
then that'll dictate
a why could be, and this is what you put in your messaging, could be we only use we try to use only the best suppliers for our clients.
Yeah.
We try and get them to understand why quality is important because it'll last a very long time.
Yeah. Or why we spend so much time helping our clients get clear on their fixtures and fittings
Exactly.
before commencement.
So let's use 2 examples. Let's say you've got 2 different builders, right? Both went through all the steps that I just told you here. One builder, their who are like investors, all right? Someone that just builds something quick, sells it, all right? That's target market number 1. And the other builder is someone that builds forever homes.
Yeah.
So now both post that same tap.
Yep.
Okay. What's their message going to be at the end? The one is going to be, man, we get you the most economical taps so that you can make more profit on the sale price. We don't care. Like we don't
package it.
say this,
Yeah.
but we don't care about how long it lasts or whatever.
Yeah,
Like I'm just
it's
putting
more about getting you something that's economical,
looks good,
looks
economical.
good. You know, we have packages. You know, we purchase in bulk. It allows us to get maybe better quality at better pricing, and it means we have it in supply to install in your investment property, which means time to build is much quicker.
Yep.
Very, very different message.
Yeah, the
to
forever
the
home.
forever home.
What's that going to be? What's that message going to be?
That's about, I would say that's more about painting the picture about what does it look like to live in the home, what lifestyle are you looking for.
Yeah, and how long. And just going back to the tap thing,
Yeah.
this is going to last you 50 years or 100 years or whatever. And if it doesn't, we'll come fix it or whatever. You know?
Yeah. I spoke to someone the other day and they, someone who spent a lot of time getting clear on some of these things and how they articulated their ideal client and what they look for in their ideal client was unlike anything I've ever seen before. Had nothing to do with, almost like you might not even know that they're builders, you know? And so I read it and I was just like, wow, that's incredible.
So that clear.
It's super clear. And that's the power of, because when you start communicating like that, you're not seen as another builder.
Yeah.
You're so far past anyone else around you. Yeah.
And I think on this topic of get clear on what you tell them and show them, this is where your story comes in play, right? So I think, this part here is extremely important. People ask me like, well, how are you going to make me look different? At this actual workshop, there was a guy sitting off to the side. He came late. So I think he was like, he was scared of joining the group, seeing that, people, and I was sitting off to the side, just prepping mentally and stuff for my presentation. But then he said to me that he's been talking to you a lot. And one of his big concerns is like, how are you going to make me different to all the other builders? And
I'm keen to know who that is.
Yeah, and I think this is a great topic. I mean, and I mean a real short
comes up all the time.
Yeah, short answer is like it's your story.
Yeah.
So following these 3 things we've just said, who, why, what, and in the what there is what is your story? Okay, what is that feeling that you want those target market to feel?
Yeah.
Okay, and your story is probably going to be your biggest differentiator there. It's about what you believe in. What are your core principles as a person, as a business? What is your vision for your business? Everything we put inside the stories of our clients, that will massively differentiate them from anyone else.
Definitely. And I think sometimes a lot of our builders sometimes have to go through our story development phase to grasp that, and believe in that and believe in themselves, because I think a lot of them have spent so long focusing on other things that differentiate them, like we've been discussing, and they've lost sight of the fact that, like Corne, if you were the builder that we're helping, there's only one Corne. There is no one else. So when you tell your story, it's going to resonate with some people, and then you're so far ahead already, because I can't go anywhere else and work with Corne.
Yeah.
To work with Corne, I need to come here. I need to do things your way. I need to follow your process. I need to trust you and your leadership and you as an authority. That's...
And the cool thing is, like, your story will create conviction. It'll create conviction in you as a builder. You'll wake up every day going like, boom, I know what makes me different as a builder. And also that conviction will also create conviction in your ideal clients, ideal prospective clients, ideal clients that you're actually working with at the moment. That story is going to create that conviction in them as well. Like, wow, I'm working with a true professional here that understands me and why I want this. So I think that's super important. But the cool thing is, like, this is what we help our clients with, like all these steps here. We do this, a lot of the steps, step 1 and 2, we do that in the story development phase, which is like unbelievable. One
thing I want to just emphasize there is, by all means, please go ahead and try and sit down and block out time to get clear on these things. But also don't beat yourself up if it's hard.
It is hard to do, man.
I think it's just highlighted. One thing that's come up recently is, Carly and I have been talking about, renovating a space, and a small space. I think like all our builders would just laugh at, they could do it on the back of a napkin, but for us, it's like we've never done it before. And so it's like, what about this? And then, well, what about that? Oh, I haven't thought about that. Well, in what order do we do it? And then where's the better, it's just like there's so many questions, and we keep running around circles. And that just has highlighted for me, wow, that is why people get professionals, to help them get clear, having a third party to extract it out of you. And then you just get to enjoy it.
You can get on the same page, like you and Carly can get on the same page, for example. And the same with our builders. Like, even if you are the sole owner of your business, let's say, assume you don't even have a team, you can get on the same page with yourself. You can stop this internal battle, like, do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? And also, if you have a team, most of our builders do have, a team, everyone can get on the same page on that story development. And then execute on the story. So I think that's a great podcast. Next step, call to action here is, if you want to differentiate yourself as a builder, you don't know how to differentiate yourself, click the link below somewhere, look out for strategy session. They'll jump on a Zoom call with you, no obligation kind of thing. Just there, we'll see if and how we can help you, help you get clear.
Some questions.
Help you get clear on who you want to build for, why, and what you actually tell them. So, get on that.